Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
When I was a kid, I used to pinch it at the end and pee and then blow up into a balloon.
What? Are you fucking... What is going on?
You just put your little elephant trunk right in the hole, and then it peels the foreskin back, and you already got a fucking uncircumcised dicks are good for putting it in the ladies' butts.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Good afternoon, Nation. Woo! It is Thursday. It is I, KJ, for another edition of Jose's Taco Truck. And I am having a hell of a day. Actually, my day hasn't ended since yesterday. Except for maybe an hour break. Because guess what launched last night? The official 1.0 release of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, where I stayed up till an ungodly hour and played video games all fucking night. I'm going to do that again today. Play video games all fucking night. Because that's what I do with my life. I play video games and drink. And yell at people over the internet, because that's what I do. Alright, let's get started. Okay, anyway, so PUBG released. The servers were a fucking nightmare, because you have 25 million people trying to connect to these servers, all at the same time. And of course, when any game has an official release of any kind, the very first night is always fucking horrendous. It's literally like trying to watch two fucking, It's literally trying to watch two guys on fucking Segways try to have anal sex. It is the most ridiculous thing you'll ever watch, because they have to maintain their balance and shit. But you can't tear your eyes away, and there's nothing better for you to watch than that. But I digress. So, of course, I play some PUBG tonight, and I'm probably going to play a little PUBG live on the show now that I figured my shit out and I got it up and running, because I'm a fucking bomb-ass bitch. And, of course, my fucking retarded ass, as I'm sitting there playing all last night and getting fucking obliterated by people, is that, I'm losing track of time. I'm rocking out to some fucking Disturbed and fucking Five Finger Death Punch and everything in between. And, I look over at my fucking corner of my computer screen, I'm like, holy shit, it's fucking 10:30 a.m. Now I have a blackout curtain right behind me, so I have no idea what's going on in the outside world. So I had no clue. It went from nighttime to daylight to sunrise to daylight. So yeah, it's a good fucking day for me. I'm just in a murder everyone sort of mood. But okay, what's going on in the world? All right, let's start this off. Opioids. We all love our fucking drugs apparently, because now they kill more people than fucking breast cancer. More than 63,600 lives were lost to drug overdoses in 2016, the most lethal year yet of the drug overdose epidemic, according to a new report from the National Center for Health Statistics, part of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Most of these deaths involve opioids, a family of painkillers, including illicit heroin and fentanyl, as well as legally prescribed medications such as oxycodone and hydrocodone. In 2016 alone, 42,249 U.S. drug fatalities, 66% of the total, involved opioids, the report said. That's over 1,000 more than 41,070 Americans who died from breast cancer every year. The goddamn fucking pharmaceutical companies. Okay, so let's have a quick little fucking story. Quick little fucking story here. So, back in the 80s... And no fucking shit, you've heard me talk about it before, but there was a company called Oxycontin that made fucking swing CDs and plushie toys for their fucking drug. So in the 80s, oh, your knee hurts? Oxycontin. Oh, you stubbed your toe? Oxycontin. Oh, you fucking woke up on the wrong side of the bed and your fucking wife's divorcing you? Oxycontin. So, of course, we start developing this fucking opioid crisis back in the 70s, 80s. because people are fucking retarded, and doctors were getting payouts from the fucking pharmaceutical company. And I wish this was all conspiracy bullshit, but it actually is not. It's very well documented. And of course, we have 42,249 U.S. drug fatalities involving opioids. Because it is the most overprescribed and overused fucking medication ever. Goddamn right we went in deep. We went in deeper than if Asa Akira was in front of me. We went in deeper than if Lisa Ann was in front of me, Chris. We're on top of this shit. So, of fucking course. You can't speak because you're sleep deprived. Much of the increase, let's continue the article, much of the increase was driven by the rise in illicit synthetic opioids like fentanyl and tramadol. Okay, KJ has a prescription from when he was in the army of tramadol. KJ's tramadol is very safely hidden because when I was taking the tramadol, I was popping it like fucking candy. So I gave it to my current, at the time she was my well, just a friend, but now she's my wife. And I gave it to my friend and now wife, and I said, hide this shit from me, because I didn't trust my fucking ex-wife at the time not to be taking it for herself. Tramadol is a fucking hell of a drug. The rate of deadly overdoses from synthetic opioids, other than methadone, have skyrocketed an average 88% each year since 2013. It's more than doubled in 2006 to 19,413 from 9,580 in 2015. Holy fuck, people. And fuck you, doctors, for being cunts and prescribing this shit like it's fucking candy. Heroin continues to be a problem, the report says. Well, no shit, because when fucking Oxycontin is $45, $50 a fucking pill, and I ain't talking about at the pharmacy, I'm talking about some from fucking Joe Schmo who's fucking wearing the shady trench coat. But when Joe Schmo fucking drug dealer's selling Oxycontin for $40, $50 a pill, but he's selling heroin for $20, and you get the same high, I wonder. Since 2014, the rate of heroin overdose deaths has jumped an average of 19% per year. Between 1999 and 2009, the rate of overdoses from such drugs rose 13% annually, but the increase has since slowed to 3% per year. I wonder why. Oh, that's right. Because they stopped prescribing these things. This is the fucking horrifying fact about the drug industry and pharmaceuticals. People create drugs, and I'm all for fucking Western medicine. Don't get me wrong. I love Western medicine. But people create drugs for pain management. And the issue with a lot of the drugs out there is there is always chance for addiction. It doesn't matter if it's a fucking pain medication or if it's something as simple as fucking what's it called? Fucking some of the depression medications or anxiety medications. You start either your body starts building a physical dependency on it, or you start building a mental dependency on it. You know, there are plenty of people I know that have had a traumatic experience, that have been diagnosed with depression, that were having a hard time in their life, and regularly seeing a therapist, and got diagnosed depression medication, and it's supposed to be a short-term thing, that now they can't function, period, unquote, without their medication. And we're talking 8, 9, 10, 12 years after the fact. And the therapist, like, we had to hold an intervention for a guy who was popping his depression medication literally 3-4 times a fucking day. He was taking the depression beds 3 or 4 times a fucking day. And that's just depression medication. Don't get me fucking started on fucking Oxycontin, hydrocodone, all the other fucking different kinds of opioids. Buddy of mine when I was back in the fucking army, he got his fucking wisdom teeth pulled out, and they gave him some fucking shit. What's up, Faith? Fucking, he was fucking popping pillies more than fucking anyone else. He would wake up before PT, he'd pop one of the pain meds. Then he'd fucking go to PT, and then he'd get out of PT, and he'd be in the shower, and he'd pop one. It was fucking nuts. At the time, I was staying in the bees because of some bullshit. You know, eventually it was like, hey, yo, we gotta talk about this. And it was, you know, a less formal, oh, hey, you know, it was, we sat down as a platoon and, hey, dude, you need to calm that shit, and we handled it. Because that's how it's supposed to fucking be. Okay, let me check the mix. Let me check the chats real quick. What's up, Faith? Cannabis is still Schedule 1. Cannabis is still Schedule 1, and Okay, first of all, I'm gonna preface with KJ used to smoke weed. KJ doesn't smoke weed because KJ had a bad high and doesn't want to experience that again. But my issue with cannabis is that it should not be Schedule 1. You should not be going to jail for 10, 20 years for carrying less than an ounce on you. Which is a very extreme example. I've not heard of someone going to jail for 20 years in the past 2-3 years for carrying an ounce of cannabis. But I don't follow that part of the law. That would be something I would definitely go to the guys at the green room and ask about. They would have much more information. But it should not be Schedule 1. It's a fucking plant. It grows fucking naturally. Opioids don't. You have to go and fucking process and make the shit hardcore. You can fucking just go pick marijuana off the plant, roll it up in a blunt and still get something. But to make an opioid, you actually have to sit there and put it through a chemically changing process. All right, let's look at the state-by-state facts real quick. The highest rates of overdose in 2016 were West Virginia, Ohio, and New Hampshire. Woman, we're not moving to New Hampshire. The rate of overdose in West Virginia was over 2.5 times higher than the national average of 19.8 deaths for every 1,000 people. While the outlook nationwide is fairly bleak, it's particularly bad in some states. 22 states and the District of Columbia have overdose rates significantly higher than the national average. The overdose rates increase in all age groups, but rises are most significant in, mine, 25 to 54. Professional data from 2017 from the CDC shows no signs of the epidemic abating, with an estimate of more than 66,000 overdose deaths for the year. Based on what we're seeing, it doesn't look like it's getting any better, said Bob Anderson, chief of the Mortality Statistics Branch at the National Center for Health Statistics. Well, no fucking shit, it's not going to get better. This is the problem with this drug, with this family of drugs. A high addiction rate and a low pain turnoff. Now, this is going to sound fucking kooky as shit. I'm going to give you a personal opinion. I played that fucking disclaimer real quick. I played that disclaimer earlier. But my wife's a massage therapist. So she's all for Western medicine meeting Eastern medicine. You know, I'm skeptical of Eastern. So when my wife dropped some knowledge on me, especially when I was having issues because I got out of the army and then I just ballooned to fucking 1 billion pounds. And I was like, oh, my back hurts, my knee hurts, everything fucking hurts. Oh, well, no shit. Honey, go see a chiropractor. Never seen a chiropractor before in my life. Honey, go get acupuncture. Never had acupuncture before in my life. Honey, let me give you a myofascial massage. Never had that type of massage in my life. You know, as a matter of fact, what the fuck is the kind of massage she gave me? What the fuck is she in my messages? So I can ask her. Woman, what is the massage you give me? I like so much. The head one. But anyway, fucking, she introduced me to pain management that was not just taking pills, which at the time, all I knew was pop fucking Motrin, pop fucking naproxen, shit like that, and ruck the fuck on. She introduced me to fucking, all right, you know, take that, but let's also knock out a fucking, you know, take one naproxen, but let's get you a massage. Let's get you into chiropractor. Let's get you into fucking acupuncture. Let's get you into these things. And here's the science behind it. And here's what it does. And here's what it doesn't do. And oh my God, it's fucking great. Opioids are completely westernized and fuck people up. Continuing on the article, addiction specialist Dr. Andrew Kolodny. Why the fuck does every article I pull up, the guy's got a weird fucking name that I can't pronounce? God damn it. It says that despite the devastating overdose numbers, there appear to be some indicators of good news. Even though deaths are going up among people who are addicted heroin users who use black market opioids, it's possible that we are preventing less people from becoming addicted through better prescribing. He said, the executive director of Physicians for Responsible Opioid Prescribing. Studies have shown that while rates of opioid prescribing remain high in the U.S., they have decreased from a peak of 81 prescriptions for every 100 people in 2010 to about 70 per 100. So a 10% reduction right there is awesome. That means 30 people, where before it was 19 people, now 30 people, another 11 people, are not getting prescribed opioids, and they're finding different prescriptions and different ways to treat people's pain and issues. He also pointed out to recent surveys indicating that opioids are being less frequently abused by teens. As we know, October, President Trump declared the opioid crisis a public health emergency. And the President's Commission on Combating Drug Addiction issued its final report, which I am pulling up right now, with more than 50 recommendations to help solve the opioid crisis, including, but not limited to, expanding medicated-assisted treatment, increasing the number of drug courts, coordinating electronic health records, and increasing prescriber education. The issue with that, and it's so expertly pointed out, is that this public health emergency was created, but it's not accompanied by funds. I talked about in October. And with these numbers that are devastating, even with that 10% reduction in prescribed prescription cases, there's no funds to really put these out. So it's on private funding and what is the currently existing public funds for it. There should be more. You don't call it and Dr. Kalani continues to say, you don't call it an emergency and sit around and do nothing about it, and that's what we are. The doing something should be a plan from the agencies, and it should be seeking money from Congress. And I completely agree with that. If you're going to call something a public health emergency, and it's been 2 months since that got stated, I have seen nothing be presented in Congress by anyone saying, hey, we should get more fucking money into our Department of Health and Human Services. That would probably be a good idea, you know? No, we're gonna worry about shutting down the government over a tax plan. Okay. Commission member and former Representative Patrick Kennedy agrees. It means nothing if it has no funding to push it forward. You can't just have a speech like the president gave. And fellow commission member Bertha Madras said that the funding request can't be immediately answered, and pointed out that the White House is working with agencies now to determine costs and processes to implement the group's recommendations. That should have already been discussed before you declared it a public health emergency. And I quote from Ms. Madras, the commitment has to be accompanied by wise decisions and wise planning and a very judicious use of funding. That should have already been planned out and plotted before you declared a public health emergency. Now, the White House Council of Economic Advisors estimated that the cost of the opiate crisis in 2015 alone was $504 billion, nearly 3% of gross domestic product. Kennedy worried that the tax bill passed this week will only worsen the crisis. Here we go, tax bill. It's going to be the vote that sets the country back further than anything else in our ability to tackle this crisis, period. There's going to be no more significant vote on opioids, for this year at least. The bill, which is now headed to the president's desk to be signed into law, eliminates provisions of the individual mandate or penalties for being uninsured that were required under Obamacare. Once it is enacted, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates 13 million individuals will be uninsured by 2027, and health insurance premiums will go up. According to the 2016 Surgeon General's report on alcohol, drugs, and health, 30% of Americans do not seek any sort of addiction treatment because they do not have insurance and can't afford treatment. That is one of the reasons why I like the Affordable Care Act. I did not like the penalty for not having insurance, but the ability to go somewhere and seek treatment and have your insurance pay for it was invaluable, especially in this context. And for as many people that were affected and disenfranchised in the insurance industry by not able to by the insurance costs being too fluctuating or too high. There were just as many people that were able for the first time get health insurance and were able to pursue treatment for the opioid addiction. I hope that when the next fucking time Congress goes into when Congress goes into action in 2018, they start addressing immediately the healthcare issue. That needs to get solved sooner than later. Because if we're not going to have the ACA, we need to have a suitable and viable replacement for all. That is affordable as well as usable across the country. Alright, I'm off my fucking high horse. Some of the message: don't do fucking drugs. I don't have to fucking shoot Narcan into your fucking veins or some shit because you were doing something stupid. Alright, let's go over to the Mixer chat. Let's see what's going on over there. Nothing. What's going down? Alright, fam. Okay, continuing on with my cringiness. Where is my lovely little fuckery of there he is. Bam. We're back on that fucker again. So, from the wonderful world of CBS News, in Seoul, South Korea, shots fired as another North Korean defector runs for border. South Korean soldiers fired 20 warning shots Thursday, turning back North Korean soldiers apparently pursuing a comrade who had earlier dashed across the rival's shared border, officials said. It is the fourth time this year a North Korean soldier has defected across the world's most heavily armed border. South Korean military officials said they heard gunfire from the north after South Korea fired its warning shots. But it wasn't clear if the firing was retaliatory. Neither side immediately reported casualties. North Korean soldiers occasionally flee over the land border, but there have been few defections as dramatic as one that happened nearly 40 days ago. The gentleman who defected over the meetings today. You know where I'm talking about. I can't remember the fucking name of it. He was, where he got shot 5 times. Still recovering in the hospital. He's doing better from what I understand. Today's defection happened at a much more remote site of the 2.5 mile wide, 155 mile long DMZ. The defecting soldier, reportedly a 19-year-old, arrived at a frontline South Korean guard post. There was no shooting from the north, according to South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff. Spokesman Ro Jae-cheon said the motive for the defection is under investigation. Later, however, South Korea's military detected several North Korean soldiers approaching the line between the countries in the DMZ, prompting the South to broadcast a warning and fire 20 shots, said a South Korean defense official, requesting anonymity because of department rules. The North Korean soldiers who approached the line were believed to be on a mission to hunt down the defecting comrade. They turned back to the north after the South's warning shots, the official said. About 40 minutes later, soldiers twice heard several rounds of gunshots on the North Korean side of the border. North Korean bullets were found in the south, the officials said. The latest defection was the 4th North Korean soldier to flee through the DMZ this year, the defense ministry says. About 30,000 North Koreans had defected to South Korea, mostly via China, since the end of the 1950-53 Korean War, which hasn't ended. In a separate incident, 2 North Korean men found aboard a wooden boat off the East Coast on Wednesday asked to resettle in the South, according to Seoul's Unification Ministry. Animosities ran high on the Korean Peninsula as North Korea has been accelerating its weapons test as part of its stated goal of achieving a nuclear missile capable of striking anywhere in the United States. Last month, as we know, North Korea test-fired its biggest and most powerful intercontinental ballistic missile to date. Okay, so you may be wondering why the fuck that means up. Well, I'm not done with fucking articles. So, here we fucking go! From the New York Post, U.S. preparing a bloody nose attack on North Korea. Oh God, yes. Oh, I'm the happiest man this side of Dixie. I am so fucking thrilled of just how awesome. Just reading that, it's like, fuck yeah. Send me over. Just drop me just get me in a C-130. Give me a chute. Just give me some basic instruction on how to fucking airborne, and let's fucking go. I'm ready. I want to do this. Let's fucking go. Here we are. The U.S. is preparing plans to deliver a bloody-nose attack against North Korea to knock out its nuclear weapons program. The White House has dramatically ramped up its military plans amid fears that diplomacy won't thwart North Korean despot Kim Jong-un from making good on his threats. Sources told the UK's Telegraph. One option is destroying a launch site before the rogue regime uses it for a new missile test, while another is targeting weapon stockpiles, according to news outlets. The Trump administration hopes that preemptive action would show the trigger-happy dictator that the United States is serious about stopping his bellicose pursuits and persuading him to negotiate. The Telegraph cited 3 anonymous sources, 1 inside the administration and 2 former officials familiar with the White House thinking. The Pentagon is trying to find options that would allow them to punch the North Koreans in the nose, get their attention, and show that we're serious, a former U.S. security official briefed on policy told the Telegraph. President Trump's decision to launch 59 cruise missiles against a Syrian airfield in response to the country's chemical weapons attack that killed more than 80 civilians is considered an indication of his resolve, the paper reported. The current plans indicate that Trump is more willing to use a military option than previously thought. Last week, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham told The Atlantic he believed there was a 30% chance of Trump using a military option, but that if the Hermit Kingdom tested another nuclear weapon, that percentage would skyrocket to 70. One British source who recently attended a briefing with U.S. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster and other officials left feeling alarmed by Trump's mindset, according to the outlet. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, fuck you, has pushed for negotiations with North Korea, but has been undercut by Trump, who insulted Kim and described diplomacy as a waste of time. Last week, Tillerson appeared to soften the U.S. stance on talks with North Korea amid spiking tension over its nuclear and missile programs. He said the U.S. was ready to hold exploratory talks without preconditions, but that North Korea would need to hold off on further weapons testing. And as we know, it tested a missile in November and a nuclear weapon in September. Okay, let's start with the good here. First of all, America, fuck yeah. Because holy fucking shit, I would love for our fucking SEALs or Green Berets or Delta or anyone who's fucking in the fucking that side of the special forces side of the fucking military, go fucking ham. This is right for fucking you. Fuck yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. That sounds fucking great. If I were them, and if I was in charge of planning that op, and I was sitting there and saying, okay, what do we need to hit? I would fucking go for a launch site. But that's just me. Granted, launch sites are going to have more protection, just like a weapon stockpile is going to have more protection, but, you know, dropping a GBU on a fucking launch site is just as easy is easier than trying to insert a fucking SEAL team, a boat crew, or fucking having a Halo or a HaHo jump with some fucking Green Berets. But that's just me. Here's my issue, as Chris so delicately pointed out in the Facebook chat. Why the fuck would you fucking report on this shit? And why the fuck would you have anonymous sources, one inside the administration and 2 former officials familiar with White House thinking? The only viable reason I fucking can see from my fucking point of view here, my awesome driver's seat of the taco truck, is that you're trying to scare North Korea. But the problem is North Korea doesn't fucking scare easy. They are a fucking dictatorship. Kim Jong-un is a dictator. He will view this as provocation. He'll view this as reason to continue his fucking testing. I mean, for fuck's sake. Nothing says, hey, we're gonna fuck you up, like just one article. And the worst part is, it's not from like some random fucking news source. It's the New York fucking Post. Now, a lot of people don't read the Post, don't follow the Post, etc., because, even as New York, I'd rather read the Times than the Post. But it's a major news source for the country. And it's a very popular news source, too. Of course this article is going to get back to Little Kim. Of course he's going to go, well, what the fuck? And now the possibility, and like, if we were to use a special forces team, anyone from the SF community, now they're going to have a little bit of a hard time, because if Little Kim reads this fucking article, or one of his generals, or one of his fucking intel guys reads this fucking article, oh, holy shit, they plan to blow up our ass, they plan to blow a launch site, they plan to blow weapons stockpile, when you tell me Little Kim? Little Kim, yeah, what is it? Oh, put more man. Motherfucker. This is by far the most, part of me is fucking going, hell yeah, I want to fucking be a part of this. The other part of me is going, oh, fuck no, you couldn't even fucking pay me enough to be a part of this. Because when you, shit, you don't fucking release and ironically, telegraph, pun intended, what you're going to do by releasing it to the fucking news when it comes to a military option. Surprise is a wonderful element to have. Especially when it's something to deliver a bloody nose. Shit, if I was Lil' Kim, after what happened today with the fucking border, and then this article pops up, I'd be sitting there going, fuck it, everything. Turn every radar on, every anti-air, everything. Fucking turn it on. Bring it, bitch. That's what I would fucking do if I was Lil' Kim. I'd fucking... Okay, everybody stay the fuck awake. Better be drinking them fucking state-sponsored colas and shit, because you're not going to sleep until fucking either the Americans decide to fucking launch a bloody nose attack, or a preemptive attack, or nothing fucking happens for at least a fucking month till the Olympics. Okay, there's something I should have thought about beforehand. The Olympics. We'll tie this right into the Olympics. What is going to be the number one most viewed thing in the world in 2018? The Olympics. What is everyone's main attention going to be on? The Olympics. Who is going to have two people from their country possibly participating in it? North Korea. So if I were leadership, I would be planning to do this strike around the Olympics when I have that ease and cover of a lot of people and a lot of planes and a lot of things happening just south of your border, and people can disappear and get lost, i.e. the gray man theory with our SF guys. Was that Lil' Kim that defected? Lol. I'll tell you why. Okay, so Alan is asking, why are we excited about attacking North Korea? I'm 26 years old, and my entire fucking life I have heard about North Korea. That has been North Korea, Iran, and several other countries. And I've heard nothing but horrible things. Now, in my adult life, all I've seen from North Korea is they pull down their pants, wave out their little prick, and start screaming, "We have the biggest dick on the block," and test and test and test and test after the UN says stop it and the world's saying stop it. That's not how you fucking behave. And they're just saying, no, fuck you. We're gonna keep our pants down and keep waving our dick out in public. Eventually, someone should walk up and just knock the motherfucker out, or the police come and arrest him. On a global scale, North Korea is that little prick, pun intended, is that little prick that does not understand how the world fucking works and thinks it revolves around them. And North Korea, that's a dangerous mindset when you have a country that is testing nuclear capabilities, that is literally still in an active war with an allied nation. that is literally shooting rounds across our border, across the South Korean border, I'm sorry, but across that DMZ because someone defects. That is actively sending troops towards that border to find defectors. There is very little good that comes from North Korea existing. And the argument there is valid. They haven't attacked anyone, and we also show our dicks all the time. Do they not have this right to protect themselves the same way we do? In this world stage, they have the right to protect themselves. But there is no threat against them. There is no threat that validates constant nuclear testing. And unfortunately, I see your statement there, Alan, as well. I just don't think we should be the world police. Unfortunately, that's what the U.S. fucking is these days. When someone fucking decides that they want to be the new big kid on the playground and start bullying other countries and start creating fucking problems, we go in and we smack them down a couple of rings. Because that is what we do. We are the standard for freedom and democracy. We are the fucking standard. We are the standard. Now, granted, our inter-country, our inside the country, we have our own fuck-ups. We handle our own fuck-ups. But when it comes to the world, we are the fucking standard. Oh, I'm validating it. I understand that. But when other countries, when multiple other countries share the same viewpoint and don't do anything, what happens when those countries, and let's include us in this example, let's include the U.S. in this example, no one does a damn thing about North Korea. No one sits there and says we want to open negotiations. No one sits there and tries to actively pursue diplomatic processes, which we are doing, which I fully support above and beyond a military one. But we don't even try diplomatic processes. We just let them fucking do their thing. Do you know what happens? Then they can continue to do whatever the hell they goddamn please. And in this global society we live in today's day and age, where everyone is connected, where everyone and everything, where every country can affect another country in very direct ways. Even with an indirect method, it affects countries in a direct way. For example, Brexit. Brexit affected the US. Brexit affected Northern Africa. Brexit affected all of Europe. Brexit affected Russia and China. But when one thing like that, like separating from the European Union, which was entirely volunteer, can affect every country in the world, unfortunately, there needs to be someone that can sit there and be the standard bearer. And that's what the United States is. North Korea doesn't want to flex the same way we do. And that's the issue. When we flex, when the United States comes up and starts saying, hey, you should not fucking do that, we have the authority behind our voice. We have the world behind our voice 90% of the fucking time. 90%. We'll take Iraq and Afghanistan as that other 10% in today. I'm not talking at the very beginning, in the beginning of the war on terror. But as of today, they're starting to slide in that other 10%. But North Korea actively spits on the global community that we are. They actively spit on it. They actively say, no, fuck you. We're going to do what we want. When you are testing nuclear weapon, when you're testing intercontinental ballistic missiles, there is procedure. There is procedure that is recognized by everyone in the fucking world. Even Iran. They recognize it. They announce when they're going to test the missile. They let airline companies know when they're going to test the missile. They let people know. Because nothing should stop a country from creating a better defense. That's fine. Nothing can stop a country from creating a better defense. Their sovereignties need to protect themselves. However, when you test out your defenses in the case of an intercontinental ballistic missile, and you notify no one, and that missile is visible from a passenger airline, from a passenger aircraft, I think it was a 747 or a 777, I can't remember which model, but it had approximately 100 some odd people on that plane, and they could visibly see the ICBM and had no clue it was going to be there. What the fuck happens if North Korea launches an ICBM and that makes contact with a fucking passenger plane? North Korea does not want to play. They want to sit at the big kids' table with all the rules pre-established, but not follow them. They want to fucking go out and play Monopoly, but they get to collect $200 fucking every time they roll the dice. That's not how the game works. That's not how the world works. There are rules, there are standards, there's procedure. You either are a world player or you're not. You either fall in line or you don't. And if you don't fall in line, the world's going to come crashing down on you harder than that fucking tsunami in fucking Sri Lanka. The world is going to come crashing down on you when you start doing dickish things. Why do you think Iran, with the nuclear deal that happened a few years ago, why do you think Iran is so fucking strict? Like, I'm definitely afraid of Iran having nuclear capabilities, but at least they're following fucking procedure. Hey guys, we're going to launch a ICBM. We just want to let you know we're going to launch it on this path. We're going to hopefully it'll sit down in the Persian Gulf, and everything will be good. Hey, thanks Iran, appreciate it. Hey, not a problem. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your war against ISIS. We will. Thank you for funding them, by the way. Not a problem. We'll go test our missile now. North Korea, fuck it, launch it. 2 passenger planes fucking see it. Major crises were thankfully didn't happen. But that is the issue in North Korea. That is why, yes, it's a preemptive strike. Yes, we are initiating. But what if, God forbid, that ICBM falls directly over Japan? Just straight fucking down like a brick. What if it falls on Kyoto or Tokyo? What if that ICBM... No, we're just saying with just the missile. No warhead. Just the fucking missile. That will cause untold damage. Because the velocity it accrues, it's equivalent of a kinetic weapon at that point. That velocity that will accrue from it just falling straight down will cause enough kinetic damage. There will be shockwave. Buildings will get destroyed. Shit like that. What if they test an ICBM and tell no one there's a warhead on it? And that fucking ICBM is the one that makes it all the way to fucking California. Or just outside of California. We'll say it hits the Pacific. It splashes in the Pacific, but because they tested with a warhead, that warhead goes off. North Korea doesn't follow procedure. North Korea doesn't follow policy. And in the world court, in the world environment, in our community, you have to follow procedures set in place by the world. You have to abide by the standard. Especially when it comes to matters of defense. So I am all for us doing a preemptive strike in this matter. I am 100% for that. But there are plenty of hesitations. I'm worried about the dependents that are in South Korea and what's going to happen when, U.S. just fucking took out our launch site. Launch the artillery! I'm worried about if this happens during the Olympics, which would be the prime time to do it. But if this happens during the Olympics, guess what? You have people from almost every country in the world there. And if North Korea is ballsy enough, they'll fucking say, you know what? Fuck this shit. Launch the artillery. And bam. Now you got casualties from multiple countries, not just South Korea and U.S. and anyone they might just have there. With the Olympics, you're going to have their athletes. You're going to have fucking representatives from the government. You're going to have people that are incredibly important there. And boom, now you've got an international incident, and now the world has to come crashing down North Korea. A diplomatic option is always available, yes. But with North Korea, they have exhausted They have exhausted all diplomatic options. They refuse to conform. They refuse to play the game. And yeah, I agree with you, Chris. We should shoot down anything that isn't pre-announced. That should have been the policy from the fucking start. We have the second best anti-missile defense in the world behind Israel, so I'm not that worried about it. Oh yeah, that's great. Let's look up some numbers here. How fast does an ICBM travel? 6 to 7 kilometers per second. Okay. So, roughly, the number I'm seeing right here is 6 to 7 kilometers per second. The LGM-30 Minuteman III has a speed of 15,000 miles per hour at burnout. 15,000 miles per hour. And we're just using the Minuteman for the example. 15,000 miles per hour. That is faster than... I can't think of anything faster on Earth that's man-made. So, at 15,000 miles per hour, and I'm going to refer to a Tom Clancy novel because he did a lot of... I respect the man as an author, and I respect that he does a lot of research in his novels, and I respect that the amount of depth he went into this. But there was a novel he wrote called The Bear and the Dragon, and it was based around a war between the Russians and Chinese over oil fields in eastern Russia, oil and gold fields in eastern Russia. And towards the end of the novel, China, in a panic, because they're getting their nuclear sites getting attacked and destroyed, so their nuclear capability gets pulled away from them, they launch a nuclear missile. Now, this is all fiction. This is all fiction in the book. And the president in the book, President Jack Ryan, decides to wait it out on a destroyer in Washington, which would not fucking happen once in World of Fiction. And the numbers add up from book to real world. About 4 minutes. 4 minutes. And I see you. LDS takes about 2 minutes to warm up. You're right. But do you know how fucking hard it is to program and task a missile to take out an ICBM? I'm not a rocket scientist. I have a very basic understanding of this. But here's the issue here. And they detailed it out excellently in the book, and they detailed it excellently out, and it's detailed based on real life issues. And the research was made available that was produced for the book and is still built upon today. With an ICBM, you can't launch. You have to deal with the missile tracking another missile. And what the properties of a missile is, you have a heat sample, the exhaust, the propulsion, and the actual body of the missile. Missile bodies are very fucking fragile. Warheads are not. Warheads are usually, in some way, hardened. So the easiest way to take out an ICBM is to take out the body. You have to program the intercepting missile to track and detonate on the body to destroy the ICBM. Not the warhead. And you got to make sure it doesn't. You got to make sure it doesn't track that exhaust, that heat from the exhaust. Because if it's heat based, that's what it's going to aim for. And that is the biggest issue. We have this technology. We have it, but I haven't heard of any ICBM launches from the U.S. to test it. It's like shooting a bullet with another bullet. That's the thing. We can test this with other types of missiles, but I haven't heard of a Minuteman going off to test this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to check the news, because that would be huge fucking news. THAAD missile defense, if I can fucking spell today, testing against ICBM. Yeah, let's see. This is from Defense One. published on September 17, 2017. And it's very first line. The number one reason we don't shut down North Korea's missiles is that we cannot. Officials like to reassure the public about our defenses to these missiles. Japanese Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshida Suga told his nation after last week's test, "We didn't intercept it because no damage to Japanese territory was expected." It's half true. The missile did not pose a serious threat. It flew over the Japanese island of Hokkaido, landing 3,700 kilometers, 2,300 miles from the launch point near North Korea's capital of Pyongyang. The key word here is over, like way over, like 770 kilometers, 475 miles over Japan at the apogee of its flight path. Neither Japan nor the United States could have intercepted the missile. None of the theater ballistic missile defense weapons in existence can reach that high. It is too high for the Aegis interceptors deployed on Navy ships off Japan, even higher for the THAAD systems in South Korea and Guam, way too high for the Patriot systems in Japan, which engage largely with the atmosphere. Yeah. This is from a gentleman that actively worked on this defense system. Do you not see the issue in North Korea? And oh, they did? Cool. That's new. Well, remember, that article's a little old, so, my bad. If a Patriot unit shot down a missile during a test, great, but was it an ICBM? That is my question. And with the author who helped design this program and helped design these defense capabilities, which are all public, it's a dangerous thought process to get into of, well, we shouldn't do anything with North Korea. Diplomatic relations are falling apart by the hour now. It used to be by the day, it used to be by the week, it used to be by the month, but now it's by the hour. We have a president that wants to project strength through imperialism, which I'm all for projecting strength as the United States, but our president does not have any goddamn tact. He is just as antagonistic about North Korea as North Korea is antagonistic about us. Now, I'm all for us going in there and destroying the launch site, or destroying stockpiles, etc. But the harsh reality is we do that, and we can expect them to retaliate in some capacity. And a retaliation from North Korea will not be pretty. Let's go with the least world affecting, which is them just launching their artillery across the DMZ. Guess what? They do it now. Untold thousands, possibly millions, could die. They do it during the Olympics, and it becomes a world problem. But let's even go a step further. But the provocation is not just doesn't just end with the president, with President Trump. Prior to President Trump and President Obama, North Korea was incredibly antagonistic. President Bush, incredibly antagonistic. President Clinton, incredibly antagonistic. And we're starting to see a blatant disregard for the DMZ by soldiers on their side. They're actively walking towards, in an aggressive manner, to checkpoints on the DMZ that are manned by South Korean and possibly U.S. soldiers. Oh, trollololo. Yeah, I see that. Oh, you're what? You trying to troll me, Alan? Yeah. But, continuing on that train of thought, North Korea is getting more aggressive because little Kim wants and views us as a direct threat when we've done nothing but try to open diplomatic processes. And we have. We keep troops there because our allies requested it way back when, and we still do. We keep troops there to bolster our allies. But other than that, we haven't done anything antagonistic towards them. on a global scale. We have not done anything antagonistic towards them since the 50s. They are the ones that are pushing those buttons. They are the ones that are trying to see how... It's like with your children. Don't touch that kiddo as their finger starts drawing closer to it. Don't touch that kiddo as their finger keeps getting closer and closer and creeping closer. And eventually they touch whatever you tell them not to touch. And now you got to put them in timeout or give them a spanking. Whatever your parenting style is. Not for me to decide or judge. North Korea is an unruly child. It is ruled by an unruly child. This is what happens when you surround yourself with people who just say, yes, that's the greatest fucking idea of all time. This is why when I heard that President Trump got the presidency, and I was not happy about that one, but when President Trump became president, and then he wanted Secretary of Defense to be General Mattis, and then he started naming off people, as like, okay, I like him. Okay, cool. They're people in a couple people in his cabinet I really support because they are not yes men. And North Korea is Kim Jong-un and all his yes men. That is a great idea, Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un. Oh, yes, Kim Jong-un. Thank you. If you want to play stupid games, you'll win stupid prizes. And if you want to test fucking ICBMs and you want to test fucking nuclear capabilities, great. Not a problem. But there is a way and a process to do that. Iran's following it pretty damn well, and they fucking back up Hezbollah and Hamas and all that other shit, which are actively killing U.S. troops and allies, Israeli troops. We are not batting an eye at Iran right now, though, because, hey, we're gonna fucking do this. And the UN's a fucking joke. Their peacekeeping corps. When's the last time you heard the actual UN peacekeeping corps actually keeping the peace? We're the only country we're the only country out of all these civilized countries that have the ability and power to project. If someone's doing something wrong, we can go in there and say, stop it. The world doesn't like it. We're speaking on behalf of England, Russia, France, Germany, Italy, China. When your big brother is even upset with you, when China is even upset with North Korea, they've done fucked up. When China, that has been a on and on, like a fair weather friend with North Korea, but when China just said, no, stop it, denuclearize. When China reaches out to your enemy and says, we are in unison for denuclearization, and you continue with nuclearization, there's a fucking problem there. Okay. We're going to take a break. KJ's triggered. We're going to take a short break. We are not going to listen to Sex Ed again. We're going to take a short break. We're just going to throw in another song there. We'll come back, top of the hour. You guys want to play some video games? You guys want to do that? You want to shoot some people? I think that's what we're gonna do next hours is talk a little bit more, and then we'll play some PUBG for the last half hour. How about that? If you guys wanna play, if you guys want to link up for PUBG, hit me up on my page, and we'll get situated to knock some shit out. And with that, we're gonna go on break and shots.
WTF Nation Radio.
Is
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated. Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
And we're back for the second hour of Jose's Taco Truck. It is I, KJ, your faithful host. KJ, first of his name, triggered easily. L'chaim, all the motherfuckers. Okay, so continuing on my vein of triggering. Okay, here we go. God help us all. Give me 1 second, Nathan. I'll actually I'll message it to you. In blow to Trump and Netanyahu, the UN rejects U.S. recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. An overwhelming majority of 120 members voted in favor of the resolution, with only 9 voting against and 35 abstaining. In a major diplomatic blow to Israel and U.S. President Donald Trump, the UN General Assembly passed a resolution rejecting the American recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, with 128 member states voting in favor of the resolution and a mere 9 voting against it. Among the countries that voted in favor of the resolution are India, Russia, and China, all countries Netanyahu has treated as allies recently. However, among those speaking ahead of the vote, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu used strong words to bash the international body, calling it a house of lies, and proclaiming that the state of Israel rejects this vote outright and that Jerusalem is our capital, and we will continue to build there, and additional embassies will move to Jerusalem. The General Assembly emergency discussion was being held at the request of Turkey and Yemen, who turned to the UN after an Egyptian draft resolution was presented to the Security Council and was vetoed by the United States, along the other 14 member states voted in its favor. Throughout Thursday, Israel attempted to convince a few dozen countries to at least abstain or absent themselves from the vote. Israel has also asked at the very least for these countries not to speak at the session. The Israeli efforts have been coordinated with the United States. Speculations on how certain countries will vote emerged earlier Thursday, and according to Reuters, both Canada and Mexico are expected to abstain. Which they, doesn't matter now. The UN rejects U.S. recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Let's go back in fucking time for a bit. We're gonna fucking time travel. We're gonna fucking time travel all the way fucking back to the early 1900s, after World War I, when a certain thing called the League of Nations was created. And the League of Nations pretty much was the beginning of the UN, as we all know. We all studied history. We all took it in high school. And it failed because it had no authority to act in certain cases. So World War II happened because the League of Nations was powerless. And after World War II, we made the United Nations. And the United Nations had the authority to act and send in peacekeepers and etc., etc., etc. But we're going to go further back in history. We're going to go back to the BC era. We're going to go back to that time. The Jewish people have been in Israel, in that section of the Middle East, for thousands of years. Thousands. It has been known as a Jewish and later Islamic area. Jerusalem is, as stated in Jewish and Christian text, the holiest city of the Jewish faith. It's where our temple was. That was sacked a couple of times. And the worst part about this with the United Nations, the most devastating part, is in in the wake of World War II and the creation of Israel as a country, the world acknowledged then that Israel was a country as it should have been all along. And it was given its own boundaries. It was given its own sovereignty. But a city, which is not only a seat of power for a country, but it's also one of the holiest sites for the major religions in that area. For a country that is fair and constantly under siege, this is appalling. This is by far the worst fucking thing the UN has ever done, in my opinion. Because Jerusalem is much more. The U.S. recognizing it. First of all, they knew this was coming since 1995. I'm never going to stop saying that. 1995, you knew this was fucking coming. And other countries have known this is coming because it ain't no fucking secret what passes in Congress. But you motherfuckers are denying a people that have had acts of genocide, that have had a history of just constant oppression, very similar to other cultures and people. And you are denying them the ability, by not recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital and not acknowledging our right to, as the United States, you are effectively attacking our sovereignty, and you're effectively attacking the sovereignty of Israel. They have that right to declare whatever fucking city they want as their capital. If they control it and it's in their borders, they can fucking do that. If the United States decided tomorrow that fucking Los Angeles or Spokane, fucking wherever, is to become the new capital of the United States, then so fucking be it, because that is our sovereign goddamn right. And you motherfuckers in the UN, which has become this giant lumbering machine of delegates and ambassadors, you got so caught up in bullshit that you're ignoring the sovereign rights of countries. We can change, and other countries can recognize where a country's capital is. Now you're going to reject the U.S.'s recognition of Jerusalem as the capital. Okay, fan-fucking-tastic. You no longer, in my eyes, are worthy to be called a friend, because it is a direct attack on our sovereignty. You are dictating to another country something that is fairly common. Countries can change, and they have. They have changed. Where things are located, where capitals are, etc., etc., etc. But because it's Israel, and because it's Palestine, and because it's a hotbed for headache and heartache, no, we can't. When you were the ones that originally fucking gave it to these people, you let the job half-assed, and the U.S. is here trying to finish that fucking job. And you're like, well, no, I mean, so fuck you, UN. Fuck you. We had the speech. I'm going to play it from the UN ambassador. I'm going to just play a little bit of it. I have not listened to it, but we're going to play a bit of the speech from the Israeli ambassador to the UN, and we're gonna enjoy it together.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh my God, that dude's lisp. Oh God, I'm so sorry.
It is shameful for the United Nations that I must stand before you today. It is shameful that this meeting is even taking place. Jerusalem is the holiest place on earth for the Jewish people. It is the capital of the state of Israel. Period. It is a fact that simply cannot be disputed. King David declared Jerusalem the city of the Jewish people 3,000 years ago. The Jewish Bible mentions Jerusalem 660 times. Our prayers recall Jerusalem's holy name over and over again. As our Prime Minister, the first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion, said, and I quote, "Jerusalem is an inseparable part of the history of Israel, of the faith of Israel." I am holding an original coin. It's from 67 AD. It says in Hebrew, and I quote, "Freedom of Zion." Look in the envelope in front of you. You will see you have a replica of the coin. It is clear evidence from the time of our Second Temple. It proves the ancient connection of Jews to Jerusalem. Our bond to Jerusalem is unbreakable.
That right there, their bond to Jerusalem is unbreakable, and it is heartbreaking that is not recognized by the world. Now, earlier I bashed about world state and playing on a world field and etc. This is a betrayal on the highest order. Now, it's a betrayal against the United States and not recognizing our sovereignty. It's a betrayal on Israel for not recognizing theirs. I'm curious who are the 9 countries that voted against. Let's open up that picture. Against: Guatemala, Honduras, Israel, Nauru, Marshall Islands, Palau, Togo, and the United States. Guatemala, Honduras, Marshall Islands, Micronesia. What the fuck? Great Britain, where the fuck are you at? Oh, that's right. Great Britain. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, sorry, that's the United Kingdom. United Kingdom. They're in favor of not doing this. Fucking Spain. France. This is appalling. These are some of the same countries that voted for it, for the creation of Israel, in the mid-1900s. You sons of bitches. You motherfuckers. 60, 70 years of being, oh, Israel, and oh yeah, don't worry about it, we got your back, and da-da-da-da, and don't worry about the Palestine thing. 60, 70 fucking years. But you want to make your capital, we want us to recognize your capital as Jerusalem? Nah, fuck you. It is the ancestral home of the Jewish people. And you motherfuckers refuse to acknowledge it. Now, granted, I understand it's world politics. It's realpolitik. It's geopolitics. I under-fucking-stand. And the reasoning they may say is that it is not the time to do so with all the turmoil. It'll only create more. I can understand that argument, and I hear that argument. But the proper counter argument to that is as follows, ladies and gentlemen. If not now, when? And if it creates more turmoil, who has allowed that turmoil to begin? The countries, and it's almost fucking unanimous which countries that pushed for it. I believe it was Turkey and Yemen. Turkey and Yemen. Yemen, who is actively waging who has a guerrilla war with Saudi Arabia. Turkey, who is actively involved with the Syrian civil war. They all have stakes in this cake. And these motherfuckers don't see the benefit above the potential negatives. The benefit of naming Jerusalem the capital, we'll start first with morale. The morale of the Jewish people, the Israelis, will skyrocket. Furthermore, it'll validate the history which has been not once but twice tried to be eradicated from the face of this earth. On a strategic side, if we pull up a map of Israel, I don't ever talk about strategy without fucking maps up. But on a strategic side, this allows the current capital, which is Tel Aviv, it's literally almost right on the coast. But this allows the capital of Jerusalem, if they move the capital to Jerusalem, it makes it to where it is in a more secure and safer region that can be easily controlled, and the threat of terrorism can be mitigated better. And on a religious side of things, no one, especially the Jewish people, is going to start, destroying history or historical religious sites. That's the harsh reality of things, folks. When we suffer 3 genocides, 3 attempted genocides on our people, multiple wars just because they named us a country, constant mortar and missile attack, terrorism, when a people like that has been subject to it, at the same time, immediately after they respond, we'll say to a terrorist attack, immediately when the terrorist attack happens, immediately they turn around and they are providing immediate aid. They deal with the threat and provide immediate aid like a good fucking human being should. They are the first ones to make sure that in the end, good comes of it. And not for the greater good. I'm talking about just good in general. They are besieged on all sides by enemies. Lebanon. Egypt. Now, I'm not saying they're enemies of the U.S. I'm just saying they are treated hostilely. They are an island in the Middle East that is a sole ally of the United States. A guaranteed ally. The only good that came of this is U.S.-Israel relations. The Israelites will see the U.S.'s resolve to recognize them formally. And Israel and U.S. relations will skyrocket. But the rest of the world, they spat in our faces, and they spat in the face of Israel. When not even just over half a century ago, the majority of those countries were, yeah, not a problem. We'll give you a country. We'll be friends. You motherfuckers. Oh no, I don't want to go to Australia, Pookie. Don't make me go to Australia, you motherfucker. Oh God, what's going on in Australia? You can't ever just let me have a good day, can you, Pook? Oh, okay, now that we're on the topic of fucking terrorism. From NPR. 19 injured in Australia as SUV mows down pedestrians in deliberate act. An SUV plowed through a group of pedestrians during rush hour Thursday in the city of Melbourne, injuring at least 19, in which police say they believe was a deliberate act. 2 people are in custody following the incident at the intersection of Elizabeth and Swanston Street near Flinders train station at around 4:45 p.m. local time in the southern Australian city of nearly 4 million people. Victoria Police Commander Russell Barrett told reporters that 14 people have been injured and that several of them are in critical condition. At this stage, we believe it was a deliberate act, but we don't yet know the motivation. Melbourne police said they had no immediate evidence to suggest it was terrorism related. Awesome. The driver, an Australian of Afghan descent, was known to police on historical assault matters, the Associated Press reports. Police say the man has a history of drug use and mental health issues. The newspaper, which identified the vehicle as a Suzuki Vitara. Holy shit, it was a Suzuki Vitara? Damn. That's a one for the record books. If I'm believing it's the same fucking Suzuki I'm thinking about. Damn! 14 people in a Suzuki Vitara? Holy shit. Might be a new high score for that car. I know, I know, too soon. It says bystanders stepped in to restrain one of the men in the car. NPR Rob Schmidt reports the vehicle appeared to have run a red light before striking the pedestrians. Damn, a Suzuki Vitara. I mean, that's the first time I've ever heard of a Suzuki using a fucking auto, in a deliberate plowing over of people. Little Mad Maxium, but no big deal. I don't know. As I'm stretching, I'm sorry about that. I had to stretch. I don't know. That shit's just as fucked up as the Israel thing. I can never understand why a person would just okay, well, I guess it's time for me to drive on the sidewalk and just run people over. I don't know. Well, they're saying it's not a terrorist event, a terrorist issue, but I don't know. Let's wait and look at this in a couple of days and see what the reports say then. The interesting part of it is it took place near the location of a January vehicle attack in which 4 people were killed and about 20 injured. So that one was not deemed a terrorist attack. So I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe Australia just doesn't fucking know terrorism, but that seems like terrorism. Yeah. Fucking A. Alright. So that being said, anyone want to play some video games? Now that I figured out how to fucking do this shit. I haven't broken the station yet. You guys want to shoot some shit? Want to relax for a bit? Bring the week to a close? If anyone wants to play, I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes. But message me on my station. Message me at WTFNR -KJ. It's pinned. Hit me up. Give a call into the link me your Steam info. Just message me your Steam info, and then we'll call me in Skype, and we'll get a game started. We'll play some PUBG. We'll blow some stuff up. We'll get shot, and we'll just have a general good time. How's that sound? Other than that, I don't know. I mean, shit's fucked. World's fucked. North Korea. We want to launch a preemptive strike on North Korea. I don't know. All in all, I think it's just absolutely retarded. I think it's just the state of the world right now is too antagonistic. I'm all for preemptive strikes, as you've heard. I'm all for doing what needs to be done, not for the greater good, but just because the world, the country, and the world will suffer because of lack of action. But I mean, shit. When the biggest concern is not when the UN has to have an emergency vote on the sovereign capital of a sovereign nation, and doesn't decide to talk about, the North Korea issue, which should be top of their list. That's what pisses me off, you know? That's what aggravates me. I mean, shit. It shouldn't be that fucking hard. Okay, so before we start shooting up shit, we're gonna do house cleaning now before we start live streaming the game. Real quick, we got guests on, a couple of guests coming up tonight. We have Chris Beatty from Semper K9. He's there 6 overseas deployments, including 4 combat deployments to the Middle East. He used dogs to search for enemy bombs and explosives, and when he returned home, he faced bouts of PTSD, but he's got no regrets. He believes that's what led him to his true calling, creating Semper K9 assistance dogs. They use rescued and donated dogs. They provide, using rescued and donated dogs, they provide and train service dogs for psychiatric alert and mobility challenges free of charge to service members. Tomorrow, we have text from Rugged Saints Outdoor. Tex will be on to talk about how they promote healing and wellness through Rugged Saints Outdoors for disabled veterans by providing them with fantastic opportunities for special hunting and fishing trips. And next Tuesday, we have Brittany Kennard, a veteran that was injured in Iraq, and she'll be on to talk about the SD Gunner Fund and what they do for veterans and disabled children. The SD Gunner Fund was created to assist veterans and disabled children with the financial expenses of owning service animals. Service animals require a variety of necessary items, such as vests, custom harnesses, other assistance items, veterinary visits, and more. As well as, don't forget to take a look at our partners that are linked above. We have Project Overwatch. Their current campaign is Paw Patrol. It's getting a camera on a canine unit, allowing for codependence or independent use between dog and canine and handler, creating that situational awareness and providing a safer environment for both members. It is an entirely nonprofit organization, so every dollar you donate to it will go to the cause, and as always, Rangers lead the way. And also War Horses for Veterans, 3-day horse and networking experience. Get to hang out, Midwest food, fire, beer, tell your no shit there was stories. Eventually I'll make my way out there. I say that every show. Eventually I'll make my way out there at some point. But it's pretty just a peaceful place. I know that some guys on WTO Nation crew went out there, Ice and Red Leg, and rode and raced and learned how to lasso each other, and I don't know, learn how to hog tie your friends. As well as just relax and enjoy yourself in a, lack of a better word, safe space for fucking us. You know, where we can sit there and say fuck, shit, damn, etc., 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 and no one fucking looks at us like we're insane. Please don't forget we have a show almost every night of the week as well. On Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Eastern Time, we have Jose's Taco Truck with me, KJ. Tonight at 2000, we have Eastern. We have Sergeant's Time with Ice, Mike Gulf, and Doc Madness. Tomorrow we have More Freedom Than You Can Handle, Friday Night Freedom with Minx and Mud Puppy. Saturdays we have the most savage night of radio, Saturday Night Savagery, with Jay Reddy and Pookie. Sundays we have the Green Room. It's our 420 friendly show, DD214 required to participate, hosted by Jason and Charlie. Monday we have our flagship show, the Monday edition, hosted by Ice. And Tuesdays we come back around to Jose's Taco Truck and Tied Up Tuesdays at 2000 with Minx and Grey Cloud. Wednesdays are a Donza, so relax on Wednesdays as your day of rest. And other than that, I think we got that covered. I think we got this pretty relaxed. All right. Let's play some games. What do you think? What do you want to play? If you want to play PUBG? I don't think you want to watch me play fucking Walking Simulator 2017, otherwise known as Arma 3. You guys want to play some PUBG? Let's play some fucking PUBG. Let's watch, and Nathan, don't think I forgot, I will send you a link for this, for where it is on Steam. If you actually download Steam, or go to the Steam website. It's literally called Steam, STEAM. Just type in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and bada bing, bada boom, you'll have it. All right, let's get PUBG up and running. Boink, there's a noise. All right, can you guys hear me okay? You guys hear me okay? Is it coming in okay? Okay. What is this? WTF Nation Gaming. Ruh-roh. Alright. So, for those of you who don't know, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is a Battle Royale game. 100 people go in, 1 person leaves. Or if you play duos, 100 people go in, 2 people leave. Or if you play fucking squad, 100 people go in, 4 people leave. And it's all for that sweet, sweet chicken dinner. So, let's see if KJ can get a chicken dinner. Let's see if I can actually play. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I don't suck today. And we're going to get... Ghosty and I are going to probably do a couple of things with this and have some fun and etc, etc, etc. Oh, the lag! Jesus. Oh, the lag. Yep, now we're just waiting for players. Motherfuckers. Hey, excuse me. That's very rude of you. Motherfucker starts hitting me. Alright. Jews were there first, just saying. Hoo-ah. Alright, let's roll. Thank you, page manager. He's doing PMCS on a truck. Fuck yeah, I'm doing PMCS on a truck. I don't know. I think this is a great way to represent the fucking bullshit that's going on in the Middle East. Man, it's still coming off choppy. That's some bullshit. I thought I had it. I guess I'll have to do it through the NVIDIA Shadow Play. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kill this, and we're gonna bring it back through the NVIDIA Shadow Play, because it's starting to lag out, and it's easier to do it off of my Shadow Play. So I'll actually, after the show's over, I'll come back on and I'll start streaming, because that's deplorable. I'm not gonna have you watch stuttering. It's my fucking recording thing, and we don't need that headache. So I'll be streaming some gaming in a little bit. And let me pull up that thing for Nathan right now before he eats me alive. Oh, cool. Steam is broken. PUBG. And by the way, here is the link to PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds for view page. Copy. And this is to you, Nathan. I'm sending it to you in a message. Actually, I'll just link it in the chat for you, Nathan. If you're interested in getting it for PC, Xbox, it'll be on the Xbox Marketplace. Yeah, so after the show, that's what I'll do. I'll do an after show. I'll stream some PUBG for a bit, play a couple games. Everyone's more than welcome to join me. Just send me a message on my Facebook, WTFNR KJ, and we'll get a team going, and we'll have a WTF Nation PUBG game and Surviving the Desert and all that happy horse pucky. How's that sound? Does that sound like fun? I know Redacted, you and I were going to play yesterday, so I ain't spraying some. It isn't the okay. So the issue is that it's not. So streaming's a fickle bitch, and streaming a game is a fickle bitch. And yesterday, like when you saw me playing yesterday, I was using a different recording software than I use for my show. So I'm like, okay, maybe it'll work perfectly with OBS. And OBS decided to say fuck you. But that's because of reasons. I was originally using the NVIDIA Shadowplay. Hey, not a problem, Nathan. It's pinned in the comments, so bada bing, bada boom. It's not pinned, it's right above your comment. So now I know that, okay, cool. The NVIDIA Shadowplay is the way to do it with my setup. And also, like 2 days ago when I did that test after Tied Up Tuesday, Comcast decided to be a cunt. There's my favorite word. I haven't said it all day today. Comcast decided to be a cunt. And I found out my upload-download speed was getting so throttled and that what I was paying for I wasn't getting, so I just changed my plan, killed my TV because I don't use it. All I watch is fucking Netflix and fucking YouTube. And not upgraded my internet. And bada bing, bada boom, I got a 300, 150 upload-download speed. But yeah, this PUBG is what I'm almost always fucking on. And if you guys enjoy playing with me, feel free, hit me up. If you guys enjoy playing the game, feel free, hit me up. We'll fucking knock shit out. We'll go live. We'll fucking do some bomb ass shit. Oh, feel free. You can ask me what I think about North Korea. We got time, Alan. We got time. You can also feel free if you want to play some PUBG. We can knock that out, Alan. I'll talk about fucking North Korea all fucking day. It's one of my favorite topics to hate on. Personally, because like I would love, even though I'm currently a fat fuck, I love going out and hiking and shit like that, and I would love to go through the North Korean. Yesterday was 2 days ago was being a cunt pookie, but I love going through places like the landscape in North Korea and like Afghanistan. I would love to just go hiking and camping there if I wasn't worried about getting abducted. And North Korea is just a shit show. It's always an absolute fucking nightmare. So it's one of those things that I get very heated upon because the solution is either handle it military or shut up and wait for a diplomatic solution. And it's just, I'm getting to a point where I'm tired of diplomatic solutions, of waiting for a diplomatic solution. I want something to happen. I want this to either pop off. It's like walking into the movie theater to watch Star Wars, the new Star Wars movie, which I'm not even going to comment on. But it's like you're walking in to watch that new movie you want to go see, but they're playing 6 years worth of fucking advertisements. Like, the fucking movie's coming. Something's going to happen, but you're just stuck here watching advertisements for the thing. It's like and the same thing with like fucking the U.S. I absolutely hate our politics system. It drives me fucking batshit crazy. But oh my fucking God, when they get something done, it's like, oh my God, the whole fucking world's ending. We actually passed something in Congress. Like I despise the two-party system with a yeah. Fuck yeah, I want us to go to war so that I can go hiking. I am selfish enough to admit that. Yeah, go hiking and bicycling in North Korea. That's why we need to start a war so KJ can go live out his fucking outdoor fantasies in North Korea. And the other thing is I'm a big, there's not a better word, but I'm a big justice guy. And the North Korean people are getting fucked. Like, living in North Korea cannot be fun. You have to praise fucking watching documentaries, like the guy that was repairing cataracts and doing eye surgeries, and he never got a single word of thanks. He was the one that did the work. No, all praise went to a fucking picture of Kim Jong-il. Oh, thank you, Kim Jong-il, for providing this opportunity for me. You are so wise. You are so great. No, fuck you, doctor. It all goes to Kim Jong-il. Because if they didn't say that, they were going to get fucking killed. That's why it's such a boner for fucking North Korea, because it's just so back-assward. That's why, like Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia, hopefully Rhodesia 2.0, holds my interest, because, like, countries like that, that were good things. They weren't perfect, but they had good things going for them, and then completely shut down and shot in half. It bothers me because the world community should acknowledge the benefits of places like it. And yeah, war is expensive. I agree. The pay-go budget caps they're voting on today. We need to cut the spending and adhere to the budget caps. Yeah, we should adhere to the budget caps. That's another thing I completely agree about. And that's the thing. You're going to hear a lot of my opinions on policies and shit like that. For those that are first time to my taco truck, I'm a very independent person. I'm not easily swayed from my opinions, but if you present, like right there, war is expensive, you're absolutely right. I acknowledge what is right. War is fucking expensive, but I'm very independent. I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am not liberal. I am not conservative. I am very independent. I am very critical of people in office. I'm very critical of them because I am their boss, just like you are. So, yeah, war is expensive. We should be talking about the pay-go budget caps. We should be talking about how there is a public health emergency established, but no federal funding to assist in it. These are things we should be talking about, but instead, we're stuck on a tax plan that may or may not assist small businesses, may or may not benefit larger corporations exclusively, because until it's actually in effect for a year or so, shit like that, we don't fucking see the effects of it. And yeah, we have a $20 trillion debt. What the fuck are we doing to ease that? We have so much import-export business, but we have more import than export. And every time that we fucking go to hit our debt, they vote to raise the debt ceiling. That's ridiculous. That's how inflation happens. You see, I take my fucking infantry jack of all trades quote very seriously. It's like I know a little bit. I'm a subject matter expert on nothing, but I know a little bit of everything. Except for the 240. I'm a subject matter expert on the 240. That's my gun, y'all. Fuck yeah, we need to cut spending. I think like if you want to talk about a DoD issue with spending, why the fuck are we looking for a new fucking service rifle? Oh, that's a fucking wasted spend. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I got 10 minutes left of my time. We're going to fucking talk about the DoD and their fucking search for a new service rifle. Jesus fucking Christ. Has anyone here ever been shot? Has anyone ever been shot by 223-556? Anyone? Raise your hands. I mean, I can't see it real immediately, but raise your hands. Because if you have, it still fucking hurts. And just because we went up against some fucking doped-ass Haji, fucking rolling in the fucking opioids and the meth and shit like that in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we couldn't put him down in one or three shots. No, we need to think to upgrade to 7.62. I mean, I'm all for going for 7.62, but have a this is our defense. This is our military. You should not just do it because of one threat. One threat out of hundreds upon thousands is not a valid reason. Now, maybe, and it's just a thought, maybe you can take more. You can, instead of having everyone running out there with M4s and 249s and 240s, but if the issue was, you want to increase the firepower, then implement one or two riflemen to have a fucking SCAR H. A 7.62 SCAR H or a fucking M14. Then, okay, yeah, there's a viable solution because those are already in the fucking army. They're there. People have played with them. People have seen them. I don't know how many fucking videos I see from some fucking hua motherfucker, some fucking private that's assigned to an SF company, an SF unit, that's fucking sitting there and going like, I got a fucking SCAR H as a fucking primary. This is so fucking badass. One shot of Narcon in a bullet. Word, Ross. But it's like, you can take that away from the private, give them the shitty fucking M16 or an M4, and then just trade out one rifleman in your squad have a 7.62 or trade out 2 of them. Boom, 2 of them have 7.62s. Oh, but what if one of them's a Grenadier? Oh shit, the M203 and the M320 are fucking. You can just turn the screws, or you can fucking turn the screws that go on the Picatinny rails and take it off the M4 and put it on the Scar H, because they usually have a Picatinny rail for an underbarrel attachment. But that's fucking common sense. Shit like that. The search for a new service rifle. Y'all are fucking retarded. It's like the Marine Corps. We're all using the fucking M4. Okay. We're all using the SAW. Okay. We're all using the 240. Okay. Introduce the M27 IAR. Okay, I can respect that. I like the M27 IAR. I shot the civilian version of it. It's a pretty fucking nice rifle. It's a pretty solid weapons platform. Everybody in the Marine Corps gets an M27 IAR. What? Why? It's the same fucking round. Well, these minute differences that are just decimal points are not even more than greater than 5% different. Bitch, please. It's wasting money. Put some more fucking time into making JRTC or fucking NTC harder. Make it suck more. Make it so it's as close to humanly possible without inducing actual casualties. Make it to where you actually get leadership in that, and I am a firm believer, and you'll hear this, I am a firm fucking believer against ROTC. Against straight out of college into the military. I'm a firm believer that our leadership, our officers, should be prior enlisted. Hardcore firm believer. I think that is the way to do it. Because you take some fucking kid that's been in high school and then goes straight to college, he's an ROTC, and you have no clue what the fuck is going to happen. You have no clue what his medal is. You have no clue if he's a fucking medal chaser or if he wants to be a fucking hero. You have no fucking clue. But you have that sergeant or staff sergeant or even corporal or specialist that has proven that how they're going to act during a firefight. Yeah, drag their ass out and throw them in OCS. Green to gold their ass. What up, Tim? I see you joined. I mean, the fucking... There's a lot of shit that don't get me started on the fucking DOD and spending and policy. Oh, you don't want to hear my fucking opinions on DOD spending and policy. I get triggered. I get more triggered than a fucking liberal snowflake being told that Milo Yiannopoulos is going to be reading a fucking Winnie the Pooh at fucking Berkeley. Oh God, Grey Cloud's gonna egg me on. Don't you fucking do it, Grey Cloud. Don't you do it. Don't give me a DOD topic. Oh, okay. Here's another fucking one, and I'm stealing it from a fucking Bring Out the Furlough. Oh God. Bring on the furlough. Here's another fucking thing. And we'll even go a step further. We'll talk about the VA or veterans in general. This is one close to my heart. Medical discharges, chapters, and dishonorables. I think anyone who gets dishonorable, if you're a dishonorable discharge, you've done something fucked up. But granted, you need to look at every dishonorable case by case. And that's an unpopular opinion, and I know that. But there are people that may get a dishonorable that, their actions, like if it was a direct disobedience of orders, but their actions saved someone's life, okay, cool, I can understand that. But I haven't heard of anything like that in years or decades. Chapters, I also look at it case by case. Just because someone's a fucking PT failure, okay, shit happens. Shit like medical discharges, case by case. Was it preventable? Is it of your own doing, or is it fucking because the Army fucked you? Shit like that. People have to look at those three things. And I'm not saying 100, a 50-50 it can go either way. I'm saying 9 times out of 10, usually there's a shitbag reason you got dishonorably discharged, or there's a shitbag reason you got chaptered. But still, take a second, look at it, because there are some people, like I have a very good friend of mine, he willingly, he got to a point where he could not go. He was not in a mental place to if he got deployed again, he was not feeling it. He was not in a place. And we people talked about it, and we communicated as not only on a team or a squad level, we communicated on a platoon level. There was implication, including an officer on this one, NCOs, and we talked about it. And everybody, it just got to a point, like after talking to him and speaking with him, okay, you know what? I get it. I understand it. You've hit that point. You've already deployed once, not a big deal. And this he deployed before I came to that unit. But it's okay, we're going to help you get out. What's the fastest? And he's like, what's the fastest way to do it? Okay, PT failure. Bam. 3 months. But he was at that point where he could not, and I don't know what triggered that. I don't know what caused that break, but he was at that point where he needed to get out and he wanted it the fastest way. And I still keep in contact with him, and he's fucking doing great. He's in the civilian world. He's a veteran now, and he's doing fucking great. He owns his own fucking business. But that's the example of a case-by-case nature. Yeah, use the whole person concept. There are some times, there are some things where it's, okay, that's the issue. Roll it out. And medical, it's were you being stupid, or was it the Army's fault? Once again, 9 times out of 10, it's the Army's fault. But there are some people that are just fucking stupid. Like my retarded ass, I didn't get medically discharged, but my retarded ass, oh, my leg hurts. Okay, this is when I was a kid. It's like, oh, my leg hurts if I turn it this way. I just won't turn it. I won't turn it that way. And then I'm walking on a fractured leg, a shattered kneecap, shattered growth plate for 6 weeks. And then eventually it's like, this really is starting to hurt, even though I'm not turning it. Oh, okay. That if that was applied in a military aspect, that would be my own damn fault. If I got medically separated for that, I'd be like, okay, that was my own damn fault. I'm a fucking idiot. But it's shit like that. Use the whole person concept. The DoD spending, it could be spent so much better. One word, one phrase. The fucking the F-22, I believe. It's the F-22, right? The fucking multi-million-dollar airplane that doesn't want to plane. I don't fucking know. Shit like things that would be great for fucking our troops. That'd be fucking amazing. Like, you remember that show Future Weapons? One thing that I saw that had immediate applications for DoD was the corner shot. That corner shot is fucking great. It puts our guys out of a danger zone. It puts our guys out of that fatal funnel. You can pop a corner shot with an AR-15 or an M16 or M4 variant on it, or an AK variant on it. They've started making those. And bam, you had a way to check inside that doorway before you fucking cleared it. Nope. Never made its way to the big Army, big Marine Corps, any of that shit. Fucking exoskeleton research. Can you fucking imagine? Like, there's an exoskeleton out there right now that all you have to do is click your heels together like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, and you can actively walk out of this exoskeleton that can hold up to 500, 600 pounds. All you do is click your fucking heels together like Dorothy, and boom, you can actively walk out. Imagine the battlefield capability. Oh, and it runs off of 2 AA batteries, by the way. So boom, you have this battlefield. You're in a battlefield. You have a platoon full of these guys in this exoskeleton. They're carrying 500, 600 pounds of gear on this exoskeleton with assisted movement, which is all powered by 2 fucking AA batteries. And if they need to get into a war fight, if they need to start war fighting, bam, go to a position of attention almost fucking immediately, and you can start running. Running out of that fucking thing. Leave your shit where it is. It fucking collapses. Self-collapses, by the way, and self-adjusts with a nifty little fucking doodad that you clip to your fucking lapel. But no. Apparently, that isn't worthy of a DoD contract. But the F-22 Raptor is. F-35. Thank you, Grey Cloud. I feel like an idiot. Don't get me started on DoD fucking spending. Don't get me started on DoD fucking policy. Don't get me fucking started. I mean, the only thing about about DoD in large that I fucking love is that our patron saint of KS, General Mattis, is the Secretary of Defense. Don't get me started on fucking basic training. I went through fucking basic training, and I know mine was a fucking real big fucking. Mine had to be a fucking fluke, because out of my platoon alone had 30 motherfuckers from other branches. They were all prior service. There was, in my platoon, there was about 15 of us that were not prior service, me included, and then the rest of us, the rest of the platoon was all prior service motherfuckers. All of them. And it was like that almost consistently across the entire fucking training company. But it got to a point where it's like the senior drill sergeant was fucking afraid. You could see he wanted to correct, he wanted to punish, but he didn't. And then eventually as time went on, he realized majority was prior service, and a lot of us were fucking chill, and it was wintertime, so there was one kid, one 18-year-old, and the rest of us were all over fucking 24. Except for me. I was not. But still, it was like a holy shit, dude. Oh, fucking A. Fucking getting video. Welcome to reception. Let's take a video for your friends and family to see. Fuck you. Bad microphone stand. Sorry, I elbowed my mud jug. Fuck you. I don't want my family to see me looking like fucking shit. Snot coming out of my fucking nose because it's fucking 10 degrees outside in Fort Benning. Oh. And don't get me started on fucking PT. Don't get me started on fucking PT. PRT is fucking beautiful. I love PR fucking T. Why? Because it combines so many elements which are actually not only warfighting tasks, but also fucking yoga, stretching, things that actually help your body. My wife's a massage therapist. I showed her PRT, and she was losing her fucking shit because when she would go to the base to fucking work on somebody as an out-call, holy fucking shit, they're fucking doing tire lifts with these fucking tires that are half the size of my fucking house. Oh, I went over on time. Fuck it, I'm continuing. Welcome to hour 3 of Jose's Taco Truck. We won't do the entire hour, but we'll figure it out. I get it's hua, but for fuck's sake. You know, it's designed with the body in fucking mind. You know, push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run, great. I love that. I think that's a great PT test. But PRT is designed to keep your body functioning. From fucking not only a massage therapist, but her fucking employer, and from several other docs and shit. They're like, holy shit, this is an excellent workout regimen. This is great to keep you on a steady standard. And then you build from it. You know, you add your fucking upper body, your arms, your legs, your abs, etc. But it's a good base, and no one fucking uses it. They do the first 10 fucking exercises, and then everyone's like, okay, we're going for a fucking 8-mile run. IOTVs and gas masks. Okay. I mean, there's no fucking build up to an 8-mile run with IOTVs, gas masks, full battle rattle, M4, etc. I mean, could you know, just from a medical standpoint, imagine what that fucking does to that private that just came to fucking like Fort Carson, and he lives in the middle of flatland Florida. He's never experienced altitude in any way, shape, or form. First day of PT. Okay, we did our start of PRT. Not a big deal. Don't stress it. And 8-mile run with gas masks. In that major difference of altitude for that private. It's a great time. Fuck yeah. Don't get me wrong. I got a funny story about a gas mask run. Fucking they shut down roads and paths, so we could not. We ran out to a certain point, and then they shut down the return way behind us, so there was no way for us to get back to our company area. And the guy in charge of the PT that day was just like, well, let's just keep running. And what turned out to be a 8-mile ended up being like 12 or 13 miles, fucking hiking through places we never thought we weren't supposed to be going through. It was just fucking weird. But yeah, it's a great time, but you gotta make sure when you're dealing with something like standards, you fucking, especially in like physical fitness, you have to have a base. And I don't think there's, my buddy, when I was in 2506, my buddies over in fucking 1506 had a completely different thing. Completely different, when it came to morning PT. And I was like, huh? I don't know. I think like the only standard in PT is the PT test. And that's what bothers me. You know, this is an area that is incredibly important, and there should be a better standard. You know, so that soldiers across the board don't fuck up, don't get wrecked, don't get destroyed, that they can have progress, become better, not just through their own time, but also with the unit. I don't know. I think like the one thing I did like was rucks. You know, we did a 4 mile, then we did an 8 mile, then we did a 12, and then we did a fucking 24. You know, there you see a steady progression and building the standard. And it was, you know, 24 milers, you know, became like an okay, whatever, you know. It's that time of the year again. Fuck us, but let's do it. And you know, that poor private that just came to the unit beforehand, I felt so bad for him. But shit, you know, the rest of us were doing fucking fine. None of us was sucking dick while we did it. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Someday there may be a general KJ, and then I can start implementing, you know, or secretary of defense KJ, or president KJ. I don't fucking know what I'm doing in my life yet. And you know, then maybe these things can common sense can rule. But until then, I don't fucking know. I'm just a radio host voicing my opinion. All right. As I'm sitting here playing with my plugs for my mixer. That being said, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope to see you all tonight for Sergeant's Time with Ice and Mike Gulf and Doc Madness. And Greg Cloud, you going to be there? That's a scary thought at all levels. Oh, yeah, President KJ. Hey, so fucking Russia decided to send some troops into Ukraine. Nuke them. What? No, okay, don't nuke them. Fucking, you know, just fucking carpet bomb it. Well, Europe needs a new fucking Walmart. Don't worry about it. Or presidential address. You all are fucking retarded. Stop spending. Yeah, KJ's the president. Stop spending money you don't have. Don't sign up for credit cards that you can't repay back. The credit system is fucked up. We're actually establishing a actual regulated credit system that actually makes fucking sense. So you're not sitting there trying to figure out what your credit score is by 3 private companies which dictate your entire fucking life. No, fuck that. Nuclear. Fuck the Moab. We're going nukes. I'll be a nuclear president. Ronald Reagan would be proud. I'm going to hell for that. Anyway, I will see you all tonight at Sergeant's Time with Ice, Mike Gulf, and Doc Madness. Hope you all have a great afternoon, and shots!
Take this photograph, tell me what it is you see when you look at me. Deep into the photography, I don't really need your sympathy, just tell me your thoughts. Have I got what they got, and is it a plot done for naught? Am I not like you because I do what I do? Who knew that I could lose a few of you cause I bleed blue? But it's true, I know cause I see it every day as I work and I sleep the day away. Like you I have pain and like you I have fear. Can I pay all of the bills and still make it through the year? Will I make it home alive? Should I pray to the sky every day and every night? Will I hold you by my side? But in the public eye, I don't even have a heart. A robot of the system moving only when I'm told to start. Rip apart my art, I'm strong like a flower blooming. You got it all wrong, I know I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier. Green beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see today. In the constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision.